Welcome back. This time around I'm going to be talking about one of the other transformation device toys from another one of the Japanese superhero shows that I watch. This time we're going to Kamen Rider Gaim, and the main characters, Sengoku Driver transformation belt and its corresponding orange lock seed. As you'll have noticed, in this case we have two sound devices. So there's two sound chips, one in the belt, one in the seed, and obviously each has its own corresponding speaker. And what this means is that you can get more smooth transitioning of sounds, you can get sounds that overlap on top of each other. In addition to that, you know, the devices themselves are fairly solidly made. You know, I like the feel that it gives. It feels properly rugged, like you're actually doing something. And obviously, you know, everything that you move has its own real physical sound. So right from the start, you know, even though this is just a toy, right from the start you've got actual physical sounds that you can feel going on as well. We now then start to add in some of the electronic sounds. If we start off with the lock seed, which also has its own sound when you switch it on, and they do all vary between the various different lock seeds that you can get. Its first sound that you will get is when you open the lock, at which point it announces its fruit type. When you place it into the Sengoku Driver, it has a connection sound. And then you lock it down to lock it into the belt. That doesn't give any sounds from the lock seed itself, but then when you hit the knife part for the transformation, it gets a sort of slicing sound combined with the, you know, transformation sound effects and the catchphrase, and then doing it after that point brings on the attacks. Removing the lock seed has its own sound, again also from the seed itself. Switching to the belt again, and again it has its own switch on sound. In this case, when you put in the lock, there aren't any sounds at this point, but engaging the lock hits another switch, which then puts it into standby mode. Using the knife at this point, you get a sort of battle cry sound and another slicing sound from the knife's point of view, basically. And again, you get the same thing to trigger an attack afterwards. Also, the battle cry sound and the standby music, they vary depending on the rider indicator. And you know, some of the other riders in the show, and therefore some of the other toys, have a different rider indicator, which again will change some of the sounds, which I will probably pick up on in a future video. Again, removing the lock seed has a detachment sound from the belt side as well. If you put it all together, it then gets to the point where you get the real advantages. I mean, I will do a slow thing just to show some of them separately, because obviously you can still take it step by step, going open, insert, lock on, however, because you've got the various sounds on the various devices, move it fast enough and it then becomes very smooth and continuous. And again for some of the attacks. I really like the way it's designed to work together. You know, having the two sounds able to go off at once means that, you know, you get everything being a bit more smooth, things can run onto each other because you can get the overlap of the sound. So, you know, you put the lock on the belt, you get the attachment, but then you can, even at that point, put down the lock and then you get the start of the lock on, and just everything moves so smoothly. So yeah, I mean, I like the way they do that. The secondary belt from the series, the Genesis Driver, also has similar overlapping sounds, which again I shall pick up on in another video, and also the two belts in part can work together. And then you've got 3 sounds firing off at any one time. And again, what I really like about that is it means that you can get the toy to sound closer to how everything works in the show. I mean, yes, there are still limits of, you know, what sounds can play when they have to happen at certain actions, and, you know, you can't quite have them happen, you know, when plot requires, like you can in the, you know, in the show. But having the 2 sound channels just means you can get everything feeling just that bit much smoother. Unlike my speech half the time. Anyway, that will do for now. And as you can see, I am continuing to work on trying to improve the quality of my videos. I'm playing around a bit, so the quality is probably going to jump up and down over the next 2 or 3 videos as I figure out how to get this to work the best. But I figured I might as well have fun whilst learning it all. Hopefully it looks halfway decent.